Good afternoon, everybody. This is Adrienne Montgomery with ERPVARS. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get ERP buyers aware of your vertical solution, and I'm so pleased to be joined by APS Payments, Liz Anderson, Vice President of Marketing, and Acumatica, Donna Krizik, Director of Partner Marketing and Programs, and Sorority Mitchell is on the call with us today, and she works with Donna over at Acumatica. APS Payments is a long-term ERPVAR client, and we started working with them back in 2015. And some of you probably know Liz Anderson. She was the CRM 2019 Woman of the Channel. She was named Woman of the Channel, and she's a longtime veteran of the channel. And we're so happy that she's going to join us today as our ERPVAR marketing case study. She's going to offer her key insight along with before and after statistics deploying our strategy that we'll be discussing today. So thank you so much, Liz, for joining us on that. She'll be referring to APS's specific content strategy in favor of a more horizontal market, but just please keep in mind that the keyword strategy and tactics that we refer to can be applied to your ERP vertical market strategy that you choose. And Donna is also a longtime industry veteran working with VARS as well. She currently works with over 200 plus Acumatica channel partners in helping them build their marketing strategies. And Sarita and Donna work together at Acumatica. They assist channel partners in growing their business. And I just want to thank you too, and Sarita as well, for being with us today to share your insights. A little bit about the companies. ERPVAR works exclusively with ERPVARs like yourselves, value-added resellers and ISVs like APS Payments, third-party providers that enhance Acumatica to help generate inbound leads and sales opportunities. ERPVAR is a VAR trainer of Hubspot content management software. So we really help ERPVARs and ISVs collectively with their inbound marketing efforts. And we leverage our microsite, ERPVAR.com, and we partner with our clients and we build exceptional inbound marketing campaigns to help you achieve your marketing and SEO goals. And Donna and Sarita with Acumatica are here with us today. And as you all probably are aware, Acumatica is an adaptable cloud and mobile technology, ERP. They have an all-inclusive licensing model. They enable complete real-time view of your business anywhere, anytime. And they exclusively sell through a network of partners like yourselves. And that really differentiates Acumatica. They're very loyal to their partner channel. And they have financials, distribution, manufacturing, project accounting, and CRM. They're really the only one true cloud ERP platform that are designed for mid-sized customers. And APS Payments offers integrated payment solutions for every business. They're a full-service merchant services provider, and they're trusted by thousands of merchants to process payments. And they really work to getting the lowest credit card processing rates by reducing the risk and providing the best integrated payment solution. They also offer click to pay for Acumatica and also several other ERPs. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Donna for a second here. She's going to talk about her key insight and some of the common VAR marketing challenges that she sees today. So Donna, thank you so much.
Thanks, Adrienne. Hi, everybody. I wanted to start us out with some information on what I see most often from my partners and cover maybe a couple of the don'ts, so to speak. And Adrienne has here on the slide that it's a new age of personalization. So if you're just starting out with marketing and doing a lot of outbound email, the days of blasting to one audience the same message are gone. You're never going to make it past the delete button on that. So you need to focus and talk to your strengths, and they have to be specific in order to land. They can't be the same 5 fuzzy partner traits that we've all been talking about for years. You know, my people are great. We've been around forever. We know the solution. We value our customers. Those are kind of taken as a given. You have to start moving your way towards at least a slice of your business, talking about a vertical, and that's what we're trying to kick off here. When it comes to lists, I get a lot of questions about this, and I'm not a fan. I think that the same kind of concept that we're talking about here, of personalization, if you're buying lists, there are very, very few good sources. I'd say build, don't buy. And if you're looking for a place to get critical mass, trade shows and events where you know people are actually paying for the privilege to go and be invested in what they're there to do are a better source than buying a list off a list broker. Another key thing that I see a lot of the times from partners is, my pipeline is lacking. I'm getting leaned on by the publisher. I need to fill my pipeline. And so you start looking for anything, any action, any activity to do. So, and for me, I call that tactics without strategy. And I should have that with a big circle and an X through it. So no tactics without strategy. So if you're catching on to the latest shiny thing because you need to fill your pipeline, I think you're putting the cart before the horse. You're setting yourself up for not optimal results. So this whole presentation that we put together for you is how to build that vertical strategy, and then you're going to take and do all of the executable items from that. So if you take anything away from my 2 cents working with partners are build your lists, make sure you're focusing, and no tactics without strategy. This presentation was created with the intent to show you how to develop your vertical and to drive traffic and conversions. And with that, I will let Adrian and Liz take it away.
Thank you for that, Donna. And then so the agenda today that we'll be focusing on is how to pick a vertical market and why, and then how to select those surrounding topics and topic pillars that will support, or the topic clusters that will support the topic pillars that you have selected for that vertical market. We're going to talk about how to create vertical content that focuses on that pain that your ERP software buyers have and what they need to overcome and how you can help resolve that pain. And then we're going to talk about where to publish that content, press releases and how to write keyword optimized press releases for off-page links back to your website. We're trying to get those off-page links back to that pillar page that you've written on your website that is focusing on that vertical market. And then creating vertically targeted keyword optimized videos and off-page industry related websites that you can leverage to post your content to, and then how to get found by leveraging your partner related relationships, and then leveraging social media and finding your target market where they're engaged in social media. And then Liz is going to elaborate on sponsoring industry events and how that's worked for her. The vertical market, this is key in focusing consistently on solving for that pain of your top industry focus. So that vertical market. So with APS Payments, since they're on the call with us today and they're our case study, we started working on topic pillars for APS Payments at ERPVAR prior to Liz joining in 2018. We started on a couple topic clusters that we've written several pieces of content and videos focusing on the top pain that APS solves by using their solution, and that's Pci Compliance, and then second, lowering credit card processing rates for the client. So we focused on Pci Compliance, and then what we did was defined attainable keywords for search engine indexing and authority, and then we created content around those keywords and those topic pillars that solve for these problems. And then so here's a couple different slides that testify to what we did. So for PCI Compliance, you can see here we started in May of 2017, and this is what is called a topic pillar and topic cluster. And we use Hubspot as our inbound marketing automation software. And in Hubspot, you can create these topic pillars and then surrounding clusters that support the pillar and drive authority to the topic pillar. So this one was for PCI Compliance, and as you can see, we've generated 2,202 sessions since May of 2017 by creating a topic pillar and then focusing that topic pillar with surrounding content, press releases, and then blogs mainly, with an inbound link to that topic pillar, always trying to drive authority for the root word PCI Compliance. And so you can see here with all the content that we generated, you can see the increased visitation to the pages that we created for PCI Compliance on APS Payments website. So it takes some time, but you have to plant your seeds, and that's what we did with PCI Compliance here. And this shows how traffic has grown for the root word PCI Compliance. I wanted to go into how the search algorithms have changed and how the old way versus the new way. The old way was one keyword, maybe software or ERP or enterprise relationship planning. And the new way is really focusing on phrases. So this is one of our top performing blogs on ERPVAR. So I wanted to use this as an example for one of our top performing blogs. You can see here that these phrases are what is generating most of this traffic. So you can see that, these are all from the search engines. So using Hubspot as our inbound marketing tool, we can, it illustrates what kinds of keyword terms are coming back to this blog for 5 accounts receivable management key performance indicators. And this blog was written by one of our channel partners. And the blog has inbound links back to the channel partner's website. So it helps drive authority to the channel partner's website. And you can see it's had 34,619 views, and 31,799 are entered ERPVAR.com on this page. So you can see that they're mostly coming from the search engines. They're not coming from our homepage, and that this particular blog is optimized for these long tail phrases. So when you hear long tail keywords, it's really the phrases, and this helps illustrate that. And this is, could be a topic pillar, accounts receivable, KPIs. So, and here's just another example for ERP implementation strategies, the pros and cons of Big Bang versus phased rollout. And so this just gives another example of ERP implementation strategies, is that phrase, and then Big Bang implementation, so all long tail phrases, and 43,946 views. Here's another example. So the pillar topic for this could be production scheduling software. And this page is really doing well for production scheduling software for Dynamics GP manufacturing software. So this is just another example of phrases that are driving search engine traffic to this topic pillar page. And then, so how do we define attainable keywords for search engine authority? So staying with the production scheduling software example, we could focus on, job costing or job costing in manufacturing as our topic pillar. And this is Hubspot. So again, this is their topic pillar. It's an automated tool that makes sure that you're following the inbound marketing principles that really drive authority for a certain keyword or phrase. So this helps ensure that you have links back from your supporting content right to your topic pillar. And so let's say you wanted to focus on medical device manufacturing software as your topic pillar. So that would be in the middle. And then you would create a supporting cluster for medical device manufacturing software, job costing, project management, or medical device manufacturing software, project management, or project accounting, manufacturing job cost for medical device manufacturers. So those would be all supporting topic clusters that would drive authority to your main root keyword for medical device manufacturing software. So you're always focusing on optimizing each blog or page on your website for a different version of your pillar topic keyword. So it drives authority for that expertise that you have for that vertical pillar. Liz, if we could just talk a little bit about this slide together, because
Sure.
We're referring to APS Payments here and your example. And just keep in mind that we're talking about PCI compliance here because Liz is very interested in showing expertise for PCI compliance since they're an integrated credit card processing solution for Acumatica and other ERPs. So we're talking about PCI compliance here, but we could be talking about medical device manufacturing software. So just keep that in mind. And so Liz, when we started with our campaign back in 2017, I know you came in 2018, but you've really seen some traffic increases for PCI compliance, the supporting topics around PCI compliance. And so it's a strategy of yours over there to show expertise for these two problems that you're solving. So I just wanted to get your thoughts and feedback on the results.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you have done a great job for APS Payments in setting up kind of a framework for key topics that we're going after, PCI compliance being one of them. I run monthly and quarterly reports, and every month PCI compliance is usually on top, right, for organic searches that we're getting to our website. And so it just kind of goes to show that the more content you create with those long tail keywords or those phrases such as cost for PCI compliance or Acumatica PCI compliance, etc., the more people are searching for those terms, and then they're going to find your website and give your website better domain authority. And so we've had a great job of creating a ton of content, not only, and I'll talk about that here shortly on the next slide, but we've created a ton of content, as you mentioned, mainly around blogs initially, but now we're starting to branch that out that support these cluster topics or these phrases so that we can drive that content that we're creating and that messaging back using multiple keywords to the key pillar of PCI compliance. We've done the same thing for level 3 credit card processing around that topic and diving into having that, level 3 processing as kind of a topic pillar and then creating multiple clusters or phrases underneath it, such as Acumatica level 3 credit card processing in this environment. We've actually created, with the help of you and then some of them on the own since I've started, around 20 different topics that we've created as pillars. And then we have anywhere from 2 to 20 phrases under each of them. So that's around 400 phrases or so, if you do the math, that we are trying to grow our search or organic search on and creating content around that. And so, as you mentioned early on, it takes time to create that. But as you can see, within less than two years, you've really helped us create a lot of organic search back to our website on these topics that we know our customers are using to find solutions for their business on.
Thank you for adding that. And so what we did is just what Liz said, is we created that vertical content for solving PCI compliance challenges. So how to avoid mistakes. So for an ERPVAR, it might be how to avoid ERP implementation mistakes, top 10 implementation mistakes to avoid for medical device manufacturers, cost for selecting the wrong manufacturing ERP software for medical device manufacturers. So things of that nature could be the surrounding topics for showing your ERP software implementation expertise and understanding that particular vertical that you've chosen to focus on, because maybe you have a couple clients in that vertical that you've really succeeded in implementing your software for, and you really feel comfortable for that vertical, and you really like working with those kinds of clients because you really know how to overcome the problems and really provide solid ROI for your vertical ERP solution. So Liz, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk to this slide because this is your content example.
Yes, thank you. And so once you create all this content, you kind of think about where should you share it. And you know, I've read many stats over the years, and they continue to increase as far as how much buyers are searching online before they actually talk to a sales rep. And that's why vertical content really comes into play, because half the time or more, I've heard it anywhere from 65% plus up to almost 90% these days. People are looking online before they're actually picking up the phone and talking to a sales rep more about your solution. And so if you can educate them with thought leadership content that helps them through the buyer's journey, you're going to be looked at as a trusted advisor and an expert in what you're talking to them about, and they're going to be more likely to trust you and ultimately, hopefully, purchase that solution from you. And so, Adrian, you know, if you look at all the different things that you can do to share content, you know, APS really started out sharing things via a blog, but there's so many avenues and channels today that you can use. You can use a podcast, you can send it via email, you can send it via social channels, you can put them on videos, you can use them as paid digital and share them through ads that you're paying for online. You can send direct mailers. The list is endless. And so I want to walk through a specific example that we've done with the Pci Compliance topic so that you can kind of get some ideas on how you can implement this internally for your business as well. And so as we've been talking, Pci Compliance is a hot topic, especially in the payment processing and credit card processing industry, because it's a standard that dictates essentially what, from the major credit cards, you know, how you make sure that your data is safe. And so if a credit card processor is, you know, not providing that service and helping you to ensure that you're PCI compliant, it can put your business at risk, and it could also put you at risk of having a data breach. And so that's why it's, you know, it's one of the key topics that we know people are searching for out there today in our industry. And so what we've done is we created a buyer's journey piece that is in the awareness phase. So very, very, very top of the funnel, where they're looking for, you know, educational information on what is PCI compliance, what does it mean to buy business, what are the fees for non-compliance, how do I get compliance? And so we put that into a checklist that we first created a PDF version for, and that's kind of been the old way, where you create a white paper and then you put it on a landing page for people to essentially fill out their information, and then you'll send them that white paper via PDF. One thing that I would highly recommend to do today, if you're not, is, especially if you're using a tool like Hubspot, it lets you create pillar pages for these topics. And so you can actually create a web page with the white paper on it so that SEO can pick up on these key phrases that people are searching for. And then on that page, what we've done is we've still included a download now button, so that if they want to download the PDF version of that web page, which oftentimes they want to because they want to share it around, you're still able to capture that lead. Then you ask them to fill out that information, and then you'll provide them that PDF version. And so we've done that, and we've created this in a landing page that we can email out and share on social. We also then took that content and created it into a blog and did a high-level overview of what that white paper included. So we didn't divulge all the detail in that blog, but we just provided some highlights from what we included in that white paper, and then included a call to action for them to download it from that perspective. The next thing that we did is we took that white paper and we put it into a presentation that we could use for a webinar or for a live event. And we share that not only directly with our database through presentations, but we also share it through partners so that we can educate everyone on this concept and how you can, you know, make sure that your business is compliant if you are looking at a payment processing solution or if you're currently processing. And then what we've done is we've taken that webinar and turned it into a video. and then we put that video on YouTube. And here's another way for us to grab another link to bring back to the PCI topic on our website. And so all of this stuff that I'm talking about right here is once again including keywords and all the titles of the web pages that we're creating. It's including links back to the main pillar page, which is the PCI Compliance web version of the guide, so that we're driving authority back to show the search engine guides that, hey, we know a lot about this topic and we've got a lot of content around this topic. And so, you know what, we're going to rank them higher, and we're going to show them when people are searching for this, because they seem to have a lot of information on this specific topic. And then the other thing that we've done is we've taken this content and we've created web banners. And so you can use web banners for paid digital ads if you're doing any paid digital and doing targeted, like on LinkedIn ads or Google AdWords. You can also take those web banners and put them on your homepage of your website, for example, if you want to drive home visibility to a specific topic once a month or once a quarter or whatever it may be. And then, as I mentioned, we've also taken this information and used it for direct mailers in the past. I've also used this information at events that we'll talk about here shortly, where you can print this off and include it as a giveaway for attendees as they stop by your booth, so that they really understand that you're experts in this specific topic. And so this is just one example that I hope is easy for you to kind of understand how you can take a topic and create one piece of content. And I recommend you don't need to create a ton of content, because content does take a lot of time to create, but create, you know, 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 good pieces a year, and then repurpose them and find different ways to share them and use them and link back to the original source. And that's really where you're going to start to see the benefits of the SEO that we did with PCI Compliance over the last 2 years, as you saw on that graph earlier. Thanks, Adrienne.
Thank you, Liz. So where do you publish your content? And you're always publishing your content to get in front of your audience. And so first of all, you need to publish your content where your audience lives. And then your goal for the future would be to get inbound links back to that content to drive authority from all of your networking throughout the internet, all the other websites that might be out there that could link to your content or use it as a reference in reinforcing their expertise about the same type of content. So the goal is to get those inbound links, pushing authority back to your piece of content. So you can do that in a number of ways, and a combination of all these are great. So you can use press releases. So create a press release about your introducing your ERP solution for this particular vertical market. So you have your keyword in the title of the press release, your keyword phrase in the subtitle, keyword phrase in the body at least 3 times, and you have that inbound link from your press release back to your pillar page on your website that's all about that keyword phrase. So you're driving that authority from all of the press release syndication that occurs when you publish a press release. All those press release outlets that pick up your press release, all those links come back to your pillar page, and you get search engine optimization from that, from the search engines, because it's newsworthy. And you do the same thing with YouTube videos. You have a keyword in the title of your YouTube video, a keyword in the meta description of your YouTube video, and you put a link back to the pillar page on your website inside the meta description. And that tells Google, along with your press release, because you see those headings on top of Google that have news, videos, and then your images on your pages. They have all of those different menu items in Google, for example. And if your keyword is matching your YouTube video to your page that has the keyword term, and your press release is matching that keyword term to your page, then Google will start to understand that you want authority for these keyword terms, and all of your content on these off-page websites are saying to Google that you should have authority for that keyword term. So you can also publish your guest blogs about your keyword term on off-page websites. And this is really networking, right, on the internet, where you find the guest blogs that have higher authority on the website itself, where that authority will drive authority via the inbound link in the guest blog back to your pillar page. So you can do this on websites like ERPVAR, and again, putting that keyword phrase in the title of the blog, in the meta description of the blog, in the body link back to the pillar page. And on ERPVAR, we also have location listings for Acumatica VARs. So that location listing is optimized for that location keyword with Acumatica. So Acumatica ERP Consultant, Chicago, Acumatica ERP Consultant, New York. And so that location page is pointing with a link back to your website, driving authority for that location that that page is about. So that's ERPVAR, but you can also do this with AccuConnect, with guest blogging on the AccuConnect website. So Liz, I'm going to go ahead, since APS started AccuConnect, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk to that.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian. AccuConnect was officially launched at Acumatica Summit back in January of this year. And it's really been a grassroots effort of multiple ISVs that saw an opportunity to provide an online community to help share education and expertise around the Acumatica solution and add-on solutions that enhance the end-to-end experience for users. And so if you haven't become aware of AccuConnect yet through the various promotions that we've done, either at Summit or through the online promotions, we do have a webinar coming up on July 18th, the next Thursday, where Christian Lindberg will be on that to talk a little bit about how supportive Acumatica is about helping to grow this grassroots effort, so that we have an online community out there where people can share via forums, they can get access to resources, as well as educate themselves on all the solutions available for AccuConnect. So you can go out to www.acu-connect.com to join, and if you do that, you will get added to the webinar invites that are going out for this webinar coming up next week. So thanks, Adrian, for letting me talk a little bit about that community, because it's growing fast.
Of course. And then Donna, I know that you recommended, I've been on webinars before where you recommended the ERP Software Blog, so I wondered if you could just talk to that particular website and some results that you might have seen from VARs by participating there.
Sure. A group blog is a great way, if you haven't done blogging before, to get a lot of bang for your effort. So ERP Software Blog allows you to buy states, basically, and then if you're only on the hook for 2 blog posts a month to contribute to the overall community. And if somebody reads anything on that blog, doesn't have to be your post, but if they fill out a form and they happen to reside in your state that you purchased, then you get that lead. So, and when I was working for a partner in my past life, we were members of the blog for a long time. And while we didn't see an enormous number of leads from that source, we saw a lot of amplification of our own messaging. But then the leads that we did receive closed at a very, very high rate, because we're talking 75% close rate for leads that came through that, because they were on a site about how to evaluate an ERP solution. So they were very highly qualified.
Thank you for that. Okay, sure. So, and can partners also contribute on the Acumatica blog?
We do have opportunities. They're very limited since we have lots of partners. We have, I get 2 slots a month for partner guest blogs. So, and those are promoted via social and all of our other avenues. So we try and book those by quarter. So I'm currently taking Q4 nominations for topics and partners.
And that really helps drive brand-related authority, correct? Because you have Acumatica between the W's and the .com. So since you have brand-related authority, that would really be beneficial to Acumatica partners that have the goal of optimizing for their vertical content along with Acumatica.
Right, and it's a source of a fantastic source of a backlink, a very heavy-hitting backlink for your website if you're looking to get some more traction.
And then leveraging social media where your target is involved in conversation. So LinkedIn is a great place to find LinkedIn groups with thousands of members, and a lot of times you'll see lots of engagement in the vertical groups, like healthcare groups, medical device manufacturing, ERP software groups, accounting software selection. You want to be publishing your vertical blogs that you're writing about the topic to these groups. And, you know, if you're publishing a vertical blog to a group where you're solving for pain, it's very compelling for people to click through to that blog because they probably share that pain. So a good way to get your content organized in these vertical groups is to use hashtags. So when you use hashtags on LinkedIn now, your content will fall under that hashtag content on LinkedIn. So if you put a hashtag before Acumatica, you'll see all the blogs that have put hashtags in front of the Acumatica content, and you'll see all of the related interaction for the hashtag Acumatica on LinkedIn, sorted by the date that that piece of content was published on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's a good way to get your vertical content in front of your vertical market. Facebook, create a Facebook company page, publish your vertical blogs to your Facebook company page. And you can also use those hashtags to attach that content to that keyword subject. So it falls under that keyword subject on Facebook, and then you can drive content, vertical related content, because other people are engaged with that vertical content. You can also do this with YouTube videos. So in the meta description, you just put your hashtag in the meta description, and that vertical content will fall under in YouTube in a search return under that topic. And then same thing with Twitter. And Liz, you guys have started to publish to Instagram. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's a platform that you historically wouldn't consider doing in the business space, but it's picked up a lot of traction in the last couple of years. And so we've recently created an Instagram account. Hashtags are super important there as well, because it lets you organize topics based on certain clusters. But we use it a lot mainly for events and for, fun company related things. But we've started to see a lot of users following via Instagram, because a lot of our users that we typically connect with via LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, most of them have Instagram accounts now. And so they're starting to follow us on that front as well. And it's just one additional platform to get your brand awareness out there and your messaging, and to show some authority out on the web.
And then also what I've noticed too is there's user groups that cater to certain ERPs, and those user groups also carry a lot of authority. So interacting on those user groups and solving problems for that ERP related solution is a really good way to drive traffic back to your website for a particular ERP. Just wanted to add that. And then, so Liz, I wondered if you could talk about this specific slide too, since you've been doing marketing for so long for the ERP industry and Avalara, and you've done such a great job of trade show marketing and local industry related events. I wondered if I could just get you to talk about this slide.
Absolutely. And one of the things, if you are creating your vertical strategy, or if you've got your strategy, is to go out there and source what events are part of your industry. Obviously, attending the major trade shows that are hosted by the publishers that you represent, such as Acumatica Summit, are a great event to go after, to not only educate and learn yourself, but to help your customers learn more as well, and bring prospects to those events. But if you are, as Donna had mentioned earlier, creating a new vertical and trying to figure out names to add to your database, obviously inbound marketing and creating all this content that we talked about is a great way to do that, so that people can find you through SEO. But the next, one of the next best things to do, and I would say that you should do it simultaneously, is to go and find those industry-related events that you know are going to have a lot of people that are there that are looking for solutions that are specific to their industry, so that you can go there and not only learn the terminology and start to talk the talk, because when you can talk the talk to the industry you're supporting or the vertical you're supporting, you build more trust with those buyers, but also so that you can get in front of them and to showcase your solutions and the services that you offer and provide. And so just an example of a recent show that APS Payments went to. So we, have multiple ERP and e-commerce integrations, but we have a huge, obviously, retail vertical, right? And so we were recently at the IRCE show, which is the largest retail show in North America in Chicago this last month. And so we look for shows like that to attend. I've also been, in my past life, attended shows that are manufacturing focused. And so if you're a manufacturing vertical, going and finding those shows, or if you're a healthcare provider, if you provide healthcare solutions, finding healthcare related shows, or we also have a huge hospitality division here at APS Payments. And so attending shows that are focused on the hospitality industry, such as AHOA. And when you go to these shows, it's not just about showing up and having a booth. There is the SEO benefit that you can get from going to these shows by not only sending out an email to your database prior to the event, but then having that email linked to a blog that you maybe created to talk about why you should attend, or the value that they're going to get from attending, or tips to make the most of their attendance, or talk about what you're going to be showcasing there, and making sure that you're getting those keywords in that blog title and in the URL, as well as, linking that back to your topic cluster that you're trying to search for. So maybe in this scenario, it was a retail for IRCE. So you want to make sure you have the word retail in your title, for example. And then sharing that via social through all the different channels that Adrian had mentioned. You can also create video blogs, about why you're attending as a sponsor and why you're excited to do that, and then putting that on YouTube and linking that back. So there's multiple ways that you can get inbound links from the trade shows back to your pillar page, and then obviously showing up and sponsoring. And then I obviously recommend that when you're at the show, doing a lot of social promotion, and then after the show, doing post-event promotion, maybe doing a post-mortem blog after the event. Or creating a white paper on your top 10 takeaways that you learned by attending that event, or the top 10 industry trends that you noticed by attending that event. And then sharing that once again, all on the various social groups. And then, as Adrian had mentioned, and as the second bullet here points to, is that there are tons of groups that are out there on these social media platforms, not only for the solutions that you support, such as Acumatica, in this environment, but there also are groups that are focused on the industries that your vertical solutions are focused on. And so, going out and becoming members of those and then posting content there is another great way to try to get inbound links back to your website.
And then Liz, you helped me with this slide, so
yeah.
I'll go ahead and let you
I'll
take it
talk
away.
a little bit about this, because everybody that is on this webinar, we kind of made the assumption, because we're talking about how to make them aware of your vertical solution, that you have a strategy, but maybe some of you are here to learn how to actually create a strategy. And so, I've been in the channel for almost 20 years now, and I originally worked at a Microsoft Dynamics VAR for the first 10 years of my career. And so we really had to create a strategy and a vertical strategy from the grassroots, ground up. And so I have a lot of experience kind of figuring out how you start one and then how you execute on one. But the first thing that you need to do is get your key stakeholders together in your organization and brainstorm on what verticals you want to do. And you might ask, well, how do I do that? Do we just go and throw a dart up on a wall and say, okay, we're going to go after this one? No, you want to be much more strategic about it. And so one of the things you want to do from a first focus is to, look at your existing customer database. Do you have any clusters of customers that are all in the same industry, or that are within similar industries, but maybe in within sub verticals within those industries? that can kind of give you a area of guidance that maybe within your region or within your area that you're getting a lot of customers that are within that within that area of focus that you can start to target more on and create some vertical content around that. You also can source your internal employees for their expertise. So ask your employees where they worked prior to coming to your company. Some of them may have worked in retail. Some of them may have worked in the hospitality business. Some of them may have worked in healthcare. And what can you do to pick their brains for domain expertise on those different industries and use that to go ahead and create a vertical strategy? Another good one is to find out what your passions are of your employees. You know, I had a coworker who was very passionate about dog rescues. And so could you go and create a dog rescue vertical for an example, you know, and just kind of source and see what kind of insight and passions your existing employees have. And then once you've done that, narrow the list down to probably 3 to 5 verticals and go and identify what the SIC and NAIC codes are for those verticals. The NAIC codes are going to be a lot more descriptive and have, you know, they're more, they dive down into specific verticals and more into the micro verticals, where the SIC codes are I would consider a higher level, and NAICS is kind of the new standard today, but it's good to have both. And then look at industry growth rates and look and analyze events, as I mentioned. If you're looking at going after a vertical that doesn't have very many industry events, well, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe that industry isn't growing right now, and you're going to have a harder time getting in front of that audience without having to go and do list purchases, which, as Donna mentioned earlier, we just don't want to do because your conversion rates are going to be so low in many instances around that. And then ensure that industry aligns with the solutions you represent. So if you're going to go after a specific vertical, make sure if you're an Acumatica partner, for example, that Acumatica can support that, you know, and go and look at the verticals that Acumatica is focused on, and then figure out how you can piggyback off of the content that they're already creating so that you're not having to create stuff from scratch yourself. And then step 3 is to go out there and identify the competition, not only within the other, in this scenario, at Acumatica partners that are doing those verticals, go to their website, see what verticals they're focused on, but also go and look at other ERP solutions that you maybe run into and compete with, and see what solutions they're focused on from a vertical perspective, and make sure none of those are, you know, within your region or within your sales territory, so that you're not going after an already saturated market. If you are really passionate about a vertical and it's saturated and because their competition out there is already focused on that, one thing that I would recommend you consider is a micro vertical. So for example, the company I worked at had a healthcare vertical, and we had hospitals and we had clinics and we had medical devices. And then we decided, you know what, we're going to focus on really focusing in on that medical device industry within the healthcare. So we created a micro vertical in the life sciences vertical to go after. And so, you know, if you're really passionate about a specific vertical, but you feel like it's saturated, find a way to maybe carve out a niche for a micro vertical that you can go after, so you can build content and get authority on that content that is going to drive traffic back to your website. And then, as everything we talked about today, go ahead, once you've done that, create those pillar topics that focus around your vertical. Create those phrases and topic clusters that you think you can drive domain authority for and drive more SEO back to your website, and then create the content and then share it through all the different platforms, and use some of the best practices that Adrienne just mentioned when you're sharing that content.
And then this is the closing slide, making sure that we're reinforcing everyone with what we talked about today. So it's critical to identify those target verticals, develop those pillar topics and the surrounding topic clusters around the pillar with the supporting content, and then create that vertical content and repurpose that content and share it however you can, so that you can impress upon your target market through email, web, social media, and events. And let me just close it here with our contact information. So you should see our contact information at ERPVAR here. Really, really appreciate, again, you taking time out to spend with us today. We know you're very busy, and we really appreciate it.